Moving on to the first disc of 2001, with Disc 67. Released in January 2001 alongside issue 67 of the official UK PlayStation magazine. There are 8 playable demos and 2 video previews on this disc. With most of the discs from 2000 being lackluster at best, will 2001 give us the good stuff? We can only hope. Let's get started. Help Asterix and Obelix take back Gaul from the Romans in the demo for Asterix, the Gallic War. Gameplay is quite similar to Risk, in that you send troops to take over occupied territories. Some territories require you to complete a minigame, which could be a platforming level, whack-a-mole, Roman toss or other. Critics at release weren't very impressed with the game, considering the gameplay shallow and uninspired. The magazine itself only gave the game a 3. Join Bugs and Taz on a time-twisting adventure in the demo for Time Busters. Daffy Duck has gone and broken Granny's time regulator, causing residents of different eras to be thrown across time and space. Play by yourself or with a friend in this cooperative game, where Bugs and Taz must work together to collect pieces of the time regulator. Reviews are fairly positive, with many critics enjoying the Looney Tunes humour and personality. The demo gives you some gears to collect.
Ouch!
Hi, Mac. We need to get out of here, and I've come up with a brand new plan.
Well, Ginger, let's hear it.
I've noticed that some parts of the fence are quite rusty, and I wondered if we could cut through it.
Aye, that's a thought. We could use that old butter knife from one of the huts, and I'm sure there are some broken shears around somewhere. I reckon if you get me those, I'll be able to make some crude wire cutters, which may be just good enough to cut that rusty wire.
Great idea, Mac. I'll go and get them, but I'll have to be careful of the dogs.
Help some chickens escape a horrible fate in the demo for Chicken Run. Based on the Aardman movie, this game plays like a kid's version of Metal Gear Solid. You must guide Ginger the hen around the farm to collect items you can use to escape before Mrs. Tweedy turns them all into pies. A surprisingly fun little game that stays faithful to the movie, and critics at the time of release agreed. The demo gives you 4 minutes to see how far you can go.
Do you need this in here, Babs?
No, sorry, Ginger. I don't know where that goes. You could ask Mac. She's in at 17, you know.
Phew, that was close. But here's that old butter knife that you need.
Well done, hen. I was beginning to think the dogs had got ye.
Not me. I'm far too clever for them. I wish I didn't have to go back out for the broken shears.
I know, but we have to have them. Good luck, Ginger.
I managed to avoid the dogs and find the other blade you need.
Aye, that's brilliant. Well done, hen. Now placing the bolt I already have through the centre of the two whilst crossing them in a 90-degree fashion like so, give her a wee bit of a tweak and hey presto! Wire cutters.
They look great. I hope they'll be strong enough.
Well, remember, it'll only work on the rusty fence wire.
Oh yes, thanks, Mac. Now, I have to be able to get through the fence to get things for our next escape attempt.
But what then, Hen?
Mr. Tweedy has brought some fireworks. I'll bet we could use those to launch us out of here.
That sounds a wee bit dangerous. I'll need to do some projectile calculations to get us over the fence. We will obviously need some fireworks and a box of matches to light them.
Yes, and I have an idea of where to get them.
As this could be dangerously explosive, I think we should store them all with Babs in Hut 16.
Yes, that probably is the safest place. You better warn them to be ready.
Well, away with you, Ginger, and good luck.
Take part in the Ashes with a demo for Cricket 2000. Based on the 1999 Cricket World Cup and officially licensed by the International Cricket Council, this game lets you take one of 12 teams to the Super 6 tournaments and indeed the World Cup. Too bad review scores were lacking, with many critics disliking the graphics and unrealistic gameplay. I'd say only go for this one if you're a die-hard cricket fan. The demo gives you a match between England and Australia. Up to it in the demo for Frogger 2. The sequel to Frogger, which we saw on Disc 11 Volume 2, the gameplay is quite similar in that you must find all the small frogs to win the level. The levels in Frogger 2 are a bit more linear than in Frogger 1. There is also no time limit, although you do earn more points the faster you go through. Reviews at release were decent, with some critics claiming that while the game isn't original, it does execute its gameplay well enough to be enjoyable. The demo gives you a couple of levels to hop through. Next up is a demo for Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness. The successor game to Pac-Man World, which we saw on Disc 54, this game is a remake of sorts of the arcade original Miss Pac-Man. Players guide Miss Pac-Man through several levels worth of mazes, collecting pellets, solving block puzzles, and avoiding ghosts. Reviews vary depending on each different console version. Many critics agreed that the PlayStation version was the best one, considering the multiplayer modes to be a frantic and fun time. The demo gives you a portion of the first level to try.
Three, 2, 1, go!
Race RC cars around various worlds in a demo for RC Revenge. Known as Revolt 2 all the way through development until the final release when the name was changed to RC Revenge. The game plays like a kart racer, and the physics of the RC cars means they are nippy but awkward to steer, and they can flip over very easily. The game also includes a track editor, allowing players to create their own courses and save them to a memory card. Reviews at release were mixed. The PS1 version was considered a fairly fun time for kids of all ages, while the PS2 version was considered a lackluster showcase of what the PS2 could do. Race through one track in the demo. Shoot some bad guys in a demo for Time Crisis Project Titan. With gameplay identical to previous Time Crisis games, this is a rail shooter. Ideally, you'll want to play it with a light gun accessory. Don't play it with a controller like I did, the cursor moves way too slowly. The Caribbean president has been assassinated by a man who looks suspiciously like Agent Richard Miller. But Richard did not actually kill him, which means it was an imposter. So now Richard must find a way to prove his innocence before the Caribbean government force him to stand trial. Reviews were average, with many critics calling the graphics outdated and bad. Despite this, the game was nominated for a Best Console Shooter award, but lost it to Halo Combat Evolved. We're finally on to the previews. The first preview is for Spyro 3. The second preview is for Tomb Raider Chronicles. This is actually more like a collection of videos, showcasing each mission in the game. And that is everything on disc 67. Quite a packed disc, with a good number of decent demos on there. On the next disc, I get back on the bike and encounter some familiar repeats. I'm the Advocate, and thanks for watching.